So as soon as if I select as a user tries to save a record or create a new record with a type prospect and rate equal to hot, if they miss in entering a providing a details of phone and website, we need to display an error message at the same time saying that at a phone level, hey, phone is required, website is required, phone is required and website is required. You understand? To get this functionality done, Salesforce is giving a very good features called Apex triggers. Salesforce Apex triggers, where Apex triggers are automated things as soon as any operations, DML operations happens on an object, the trigger will fire automatically, like a database stored procedures. Now, to create an Apex class, I'm using a VS Code here. SFDX create Apex trigger. Now, while creating Apex trigger, on which object you wanted to create Apex trigger? Account object, right? Account, I'll say trigger. This is my trigger name. In which object we wanted to execute? This is my trigger name. On which object we wanted to write? Account, right? Account. And there are events called before insert. There are different events in trigger. Let me point out those. We have before insert. We have before insert. We have before update. Before, sorry, after insert, after update, before delete, after delete, after undelete. These are called trigger events. When your trigger need to be executed. Hey, my trigger wanted to execute before my account is getting created. You understand? Before I click, as soon as I click a save, how the database operation happens? User, new, field details. If I say account, save, and then what it will go? Commit, validation, before triggers, and then save, update triggers, transaction, close. See, now user, see the difference here. User enters field, save. If he commits before triggers, if before triggers is successful, then it will go to save. As soon as if it tries to save a database, again it save in the sense save. Save, yeah, saving to S object. So if update trigger is successful, then transaction will close and it will show a detailed page. Record detailed page. Now let's say if anything goes wrong here, if anything goes wrong here, again it will come back to the new form or a updating form. Or either anything goes here, wrong here, it will come back to the same point. So it means if in entire transaction, if anything goes wrong, it will come back to the same edit form by showing a error message. Clear? So when you need to execute, if you are trying to create a new record, there are two triggers possible. You have a before insert and you have a after insert. If you are trying to update a record, we have a before update, we have after update. If you are trying to delete, we have before delete and we have after delete. If you are trying to undelete in the sense going to a recycle bin, all recycle bins, and if you don't have any record, sorry, I don't know, let me delete one record from here, like test. I'll delete it. Delete. I'll go to a recycle bin. Now you can see if I select here, if I click undelete means it will restore to the account object again. If you are doing so in after undelete, you don't have a before trigger. There is no chance of before trigger. It always like a after undelete. Clear? In before trigger, we have trigger context variables called trigger.new, which will contain a list of accounts which will have a new data. In before update, we have trigger.new, comma, trigger.new map, comma, trigger.old, comma, trigger.old map. In after insert, we have trigger.new, comma, trigger.new map. In after update, we have trigger.new, trigger.new map, comma, trigger.old, comma, trigger.old map. In before delete, again you have trigger.new, old, comma, trigger.old map. In after, we can use trigger.old, comma, trigger.old map. In after delete, you have trigger.new, comma, trigger.new map. These are the data context variables available on each event. These are the data context variables available on each event. Trigger.new in the sense a list of as objects. How it will go? Trigger.new means if I say trigger.new, if I say trigger.new means a list of S object. In this case, what is our S object here? In this case, what is our S object? Account, right? So this case, our list of object is account. The same way, trigger.new and trigger.old will contain same. Trigger.old will contain list of values. And if it is a trigger.new map or trigger.old map, by name itself it shows it is talking about some map function. Map of what could be the key here? Map will always contain key comma value, right? Here key comma is nothing but your ID. Your key comma is nothing but ID. Okay. ID comma here your object is account. Okay. Now let's talk about more. In before you insert a record, do you have a account ID for a new record? Will it be provided account ID? So only. So why we have only trigger.new? Why don't what we don't have a trigger.new map? Because in before insert record is not even generated in Salesforce. There is no ID. It means if there is no key, there is no point of map, right? Hello. Even if I say before update in the sense there is a record which is already in system. You are trying to update. So you have a key and you have a new values and you have a old values. So only we have all four here. You got it? But now let's talk about after. After insert means it is actually saving to S object. It is already saving to S object. So it means as soon as it is getting saving to S object, the ID will be generated. And after update triggers, I mean, sorry, here I say after triggers, not update triggers. In after triggers, do you have a ID now, even for insert, right? So it means then only we have only new one, new map. Why don't we have a old and old map for after triggers, after insert events? The reason behind it's a new record. There is no old record, right? If it is a new, there is no old values, isn't it? Now let's talk about update. Okay, what about before update, before delete? Because it's a deleting data, so you will be always rely on old information only. You don't need any new information here, isn't it? There is a new, but you can always operate. Best practice is that you can operate with the old events Because in delete, you don't modify any value. You will be just deleting a record which is already existing. If you are deleting means it is already existing in the system, right? What about after undelete? You are restoring. Restoring in the sense this have a record ID or not already. It have a record ID, no doubt in that. And you are restoring within the system. So after undelete and after insert will looks same. See, right? After undelete, after insert and after undelete are same. So whatever logic you write in real time for after update undelete and after insert remains same. So you don't need a separate undelete operation. You can use insert operation after insert operation only. Okay. Now, what is our scenario in this case? What is our scenario? Whenever we are creating a new account, whenever user is trying to create a new account, and if he enters type equal to prospect and rating equal to hot, if we don't provide phone and website, we need to throw an error. Clear? When you need to throw an error, before saving a record only, you need to throw an error, not after saving, right? Okay. Now to do that, let me create one Apex class. Create sfdx, create Apex, cancel, Control Shift, sfdx, create Apex class, account. I'll say even account trigger, even for this. But you see the extension. This is account trigger dot trigger. This is CLS. So there is no naming convention issue here. Okay. So now I deleted it. Don't worry, I'm not doing anything. I have an add-on to do a document. So it almost as soon as I click Control S, Command S, it shows, I mean, it just gets some header for the files. So don't worry. Now I need to create a method. How to create a method? Public static, I'll say static void. I'll write before insert. So I'll define my method name as a before insert. In before insert, what type of data you have? You have only list of S object, right? You have only list of S objects. So I know that I'll say list of S object, new, I'll say new accounts is my variable name. So I'll call this method from here. To call this method, if I want to write another event, so let's imagine like we have a before insert here. If I want to write a after insert, what should I do? All you need to put comma, you need to say after insert. The same way you can say after update, after delete, after undelete. Same thing you can do before update, after insert, before update, yeah, before update and before delete. Now let's see if I call this method, if I call how to call this method, static members can be invoked directly by its class name, right? Because this is static method. This is a static method. I can call this directly by calling using a class name. So I can say, now if I say this and I will pass trigger.new, this is my list of S objects, isn't it? I pass this way. Now this will execute for which event? This will only execute for before or it will also execute for all events now? Don't go with this name because this is just a method name. System never knows like what is that method name stands for, right? Now, this case, what happened? This will for all triggers, it will execute for all events. But our condition, I wanted to execute only for a before, right? So for that, what we need? We need some conditional check. For that, we need some condition. How to check? I can say if trigger dot is before, trigger dot is before, and trigger dot is insert. Now it will ensure that this will return true only if the trigger is before event and the event is insert. Operation is insert. Now this will execute only for this condition. Got it? E is before. The same way we have E is update, E is delete, E is undelete. The same thing we have E is before and E is after. Now I know even though I have multiple operations here, I know what need to be executed now because of this conditional statement. Now if I go to trigger, now because I have a list of account here, list of accounts, right? I have list of accounts. So now what is the condition? First condition, let's go with the condition base. When type equal to prospect and rating equal to hot, given condition. This is my given statement. What is my given statement here? When user creates a new account from account tab, then type equal to prospect and rating equal to hot, and click saves. When given when then what happened? Check phone and website is provided, else throw an error saying phone and website required. Clear the statement? We know the context, right? When a use when a user when a user creates a new account from an account tab, when user creates a new tab from account tab, and if he enters like type equal to prospect and rating equal to halt, and then click saves, check phone and website is provided. So whether they filled phone and provided, it's okay. Else, throw an error saying that phone and website required. Clear? Now we are in a collections, right? This is a collection. If I want to go, collection means you have more than one record, right? So now to read record by record, all you need to say for, you need to write a for loop. There is a two ways of for loop. I don't know. I think Pag is, comfortable with for each loop. But Avinash, you know about for each loops? Okay. So normally, what's the traditional way we'll write? Integer. The traditional way we write integer I equal to 0 colon I less than new accounts dot size comma I plus plus. Right? This is the traditional for loop that you write, right? You know this, isn't it? Now and then what we'll do, we'll say account yes is record equal to, and we'll write record by record, right? New accounts of index, new accounts of I. So now it will get record by record as soon as it iterates. Then what we'll do, if condition. To check, we need to check, right? If account type equal to prospect and everything, record dot type equal to prospect and record dot rating equal to hot and phone equal to null. Do I need to write unconditional or R condition? Website equal to null. Let's imagine this way. Let's talk about this way. User might provided a data here and not here. So if any of these fields is not provided, then I need to throw error, right? Any of these fields, phone and website, any of these. It means I need to go with R condition. I need to go with a R condition. I need to go with a R condition. Now we can say, let's talk about a basic one. Record dot add error, saying that phone is website required to save the data. So this is my account. So I'm just, there is a method in Salesforce. You can add a error. You can add a error. Clear? You have a method called add error. Okay. Now, as soon as you save, right click on the file and there is an option called deploy this source to Arc. Deploy this source to Arc. You can deploy it. Now tasks are running. Let it get deployed. Oh, variable not exist. Oh, here I need to say record. 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 Deploy. Deploy. Because my object information is not coming. Let me go sfdx. Refresh subject definition. All subjects. So my class has been deployed. My trigger has been deployed. So we are good. Let me go and do one thing. Test trigger. Prospect and heart. I don't provide anything. I'll save. Phone and website is required to save the record. This is looking good, but what is our expectation? We should display this error message at a field level, right? Not at a page level, isn't it? How can I do this? So there is a simple modifications we can do. Instead of keeping here, see if I say add error will go and display at a page level. See, add error is displaying at a page level. I mean record level, right? If I want to display at a field level, delete it, and then you can write a inner conditions. If record.phone equal to null, and say record.phone.add error. Now you are adding a error message at a field level, right? Phone is required. The same thing you can write another if condition. I'll say record.type, sorry, website equal to null. I'll say record.website.add error. Website is required. Now, as soon as done, click right click, deploy to source arc. Deploy. If I click save, now see the difference. Error message went at a field level, right? Now, the other scenario, if I provide my phone number, 9986973452, and if I say www google.com. If I save, record need to save now, isn't it? Okay, it is going, it went back, don't worry. Now I'll say www.google.com. If I click save, it will get saved. See, there is no issues here. It is saved, right? Now let me go to the new account. Let me go to the account again. If I click new, I mean I'm creating a new account. As soon as I save my account, as soon as I save my account with all the proper information, here it need to display with account name. My account name, how to display? Account name it need to display and comma phone colon phone number, and then it also need to update my and website equal to this website. It, it need to be updated something like account name. It need to display account name, my phone, and then it need to display my website here in this fields. This field should automatically update it. This field should automatically update it. Clear? Okay, let's go here because I'm not too sure how to make it in a new line. So let me check it out how this is going in a new line. Account phone so that I'll understand from a database query. Here, okay, now I wanted to understand how to make it as a second line. I know how to make it as a single line, but I don't know how to make it as a second line. So what I'll do, I'll just write a simple query myself. Select ID, comma, description from account where ID equal to this one. Say highlight, Control Shift P, SFDX, execute SQL with a selected test REST API. Now it is querying my SQL from here. Instead of going developer console and executing, I am doing from here. So it means that you can avoid developer console maximum if you can able to use VS Code techniques properly. But again, it is taking time in this case. Okay, we got the results. This is so bad. Let me check it out here how this is working up. Okay, now let me go to query editor. Select ID, comma, description from account where ID account phone. Okay, account name. This is something weird. Yeah. Okay. Slash n is a new line. That's of course. Uh, okay. Now let me check one thing. Okay. So now record. I don't explain anything here. Just allow me a while. Okay. I'm not explaining anything now. Just I'm checking something out. Record dot description. SSC phone. Save. Deploy. Just checking. Else, I don't know. I never tried this type of thing. Still now, I'm just trying to explain. Hmm. So what I'm trying to do here, I wanted to display in the message something like this, even from Apex code. Here I can do a shift enter, it will go next line. But how my Apex code will tell to my system saying that it should go to the next line? That's the question I had here. Let's see. Next, test, prospect, save. Oh, it's going slash n. Instead of doing here, let me go copy pasting and say deploy, deploy. So I'm just trying to figure it out, like how it can pass it to next line. If I use double slash, then what happened? It skipped one slash and takes slash in. So now what I'm doing, I'm saying this is like a slash in, don't skip, as with a character, special character. So I'm expecting it should go SSE and then it will go just below 4 instead of in a single line, the way it is showing now. So because I moved my code here, I moved my code outside of the if condition. So if I update and save, if I update and save, what happens? It should execute. I'll say edit and I save it. Below error exception cause, the reason behind, we have like after update here, Control X, deploy. Record is read only because in after update I'm trying to override a value using my Apex triggers. I'm saving it. Now it should save and expecting it should go down. Wow, it worked. Interesting. Good. Control Z. I'll say account trigger, Control X, delete, save, Control P, open my trigger class. Here we go. Now this is a for loop. But what is meant by for each in the sense? For each is like a little less easy than doing here. This is a for each statement, and how the for each statement work? All you need to say data type. What is your iterating data type? And I'll say record, and all you need to pass your collection. There is no i's, there is no other integers, increment, simple things. So that's it. The for loop is this much only for loop. All you need to pass your data type and collection variable, and what is the variable that you are assigning for a loop variable. Now here I'll say if record dot type equal to prospect and record dot rating equal to hot, and then I'll go inside if record dot phone equal to null, and I'll try error message saying that record dot how to add a field level errors. Record dot field dot add error is a method that we are using. Phone is required, and the same thing you need to do for a website. Record dot website equal to null, and I'll say record dot website dot add error website is required. So if I wanted to know like whether my record have error or not, what I'll do, I'll say boolean is error equal to false. By default, I'll say this is false. Now, every error inside, because this is an error, right? I'll say add. Oh, this will not work. We'll see this example little later, not now. This will work. Is error equal to true? Because this is an error record, so every variable I will be assigning like true. Is error. If it is true, then I'll throw a page error message saying that record dot add error account trigger validation errors. And then if everything goes good, then I need to update my description. Record dot description. How to update? First thing I need to say account name colon. What is the account name that I wanted to say? Record dot name is my account name, right? Place single quotes. I need to go to a new line now. So how to go in new line? Slash n slash n. And then what next? Phone colon. What is the phone number that I'm getting here? Record dot phone plus single quote slash n website record dot website. Now you can ask me a question how it will gonna update my database. I'm not doing any DML operation. Now let's say this record you are operating in a before insert, right? In before insert you can able to update the current record value without doing any DML operations. Clear? In before insert, in before triggers, in any before triggers, you can able to update the current record values. Current record values in sense whatever you are trying to create a new record or updating in before insert you can able to update record values directly without doing any database operations like insert update and delete. Clear? You can override the values in a way that you can override the values. Clear? Okay, now I'm just deploying this and this will go in error. So if I want to go separate in slash yes slash single quote yes semicolon. This means this will treat that as not a special character or it's a special character. Clear? Slash means it avoids. 1 minute. Which slash I need to use? Earlier, which slash I used? I'm just doing a redo. Uh, control this way. This is a forward, no, right? Backward slash. Deploy. Now here you can see record value is getting overridden, right? Overriding the current record value in before insert trigger. Now let me save my record like Deepak type prospect rating equal to hot phone equal to thanks and website equal to google.com. If I save, the expectation is that here the details should be popped up. Record is read-only, cannot be inserted. Line number 34. 1 minute. Account trigger executed after insert causes system.final exception after insert. There is no chance. Oh, I didn't save my trigger. Sorry. I didn't deploy this code. It was like earlier I had like a block outside, right? That is causing it. This is not an issue. We need to deploy a code. Yeah, now it will work. We got it now automatically. The data we are able to expect like how it need to be updated. Clear? Any question? Any question in this? That read-only error you just avoid it. You can see you will get an error always after. You can't override a values in after triggers. The reason behind in after is executing after saving to a object, S object, right? Once the record is saved in this format, the records you can't modify any value in this case, right? Because these are read-only fields anymore until unless you click edit, isn't it? So only we have no flexibility that you can override values in after triggers. We have flexibility to override values only in before triggers. You can override directly without DML operations.